All right, so something else that I've seen recently,
Yeah.
and something that I've seen a lot of,
Mm.
is Fujifilm's X100V.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it used to be the X100F, but
Yeah,
that's
that was
been
the last model. Yeah.
discontinued. Yep.
Mhm.
Seen a lot of it
Yep.
on TikTok, on Instagram, just as a
Mm.
workhorse among influencers and just every content creator on the planet.
Yep.
It's very expensive though.
It's yeah.
It's a lot.
I recently just went through this thing where I work for a creative agency now. My role is I still shoot and edit, and I still am passionate about that stuff. But I had a $3,000 Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K Pro,
Mm.
$3,500 camera, just sitting at home like that. I barely ever use because we have work.
Mm.
We have gear at work.
Yeah.
So I just went through this like big clean out. Like I need to make space for this new baby that's coming. Need to make space for. I don't have space to use any of the gear at home anyway. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get rid of a bunch of it. So I sold a bunch of stuff, and then I have all this money from the stuff I just sold, which is meant to go to the baby. And I was like, I could buy a new camera, which is obviously not what I'm planning on doing. But in that process, I was like, I want to. I don't need to do it for work, but I want to be like, I want to kind of enjoy photography a bit more. And when you're doing it with like a mirrorless, I got a Canon EOS R, which I still have. I don't know, it just feels too like clinical. I don't know, clinical is the wrong word, but like I'm not trying to shoot for a job. I'm just trying to shoot for fun. I just want to take photos of my family, like of things that I like the look of like nice architecture. Like I don't want to like, I don't know, just too clean.
Yeah.
And you go one way and you're like, okay, well, you go get a film camera. But I'm like, I can't be bothered doing any of that crap and like waiting for film to be developed.
And it's expensive.
And and like burning money on film that I'll just then turn into digital so I can post on Instagram anyway. So I was like, what's the middle ground here? And I started looking into Fuji because Fuji has incredible like film emulation in camera effect stuff. And I was like, okay, well, there's this camera that I keep hearing about called the X100V. And I was like, can't be that much. It's fixed lens.
Yeah.
It's got a 22mm fixed lens, an APS-C camera. It's almost $3,000, which is nuts. So the long and short of it is I want to buy one, but I also don't because I want to buy one because I just want a camera that I can grab and go and take photos and not have to think about it. But I also don't want to buy one because it seems ridiculous to spend almost $3,000 on a camera that I can't even change the lens on. Like if I wanted to shoot at 75 mils, I couldn't.
Yeah.
Because it's impossible.
Yeah, and I think other mirrorless cameras, same sort of size, either Sony's or other, pretty sure you could get them around the same price. You might have to spend a bit more on a lens, but at least you're like the quality, it's full frame. It's like all these other things are leaps and bounds ahead. Of the Fujifilm, but I guess it is those simulations that are great.
Yeah, and for most of the content I'm watching, because I watched a lot of reviews about it last night, is that most people like really enjoy it because it's for some people it's a creative challenge. Like having the camera that you cannot change the lens on means that, so it's APS-C 22mm lens, so it's actually close to like 35.
Yeah.
But having a 35mm lens permanently attached to your camera means that if you want to get a shot and you're too far away, you have to get closer. You have to figure out something else. Like there's challenging elements to it other than just like, oh, put another lens on and, then I can be closer. And it makes you think more, which I like the idea of. And I like the idea of just like most people use it in auto. They don't shoot manual because it's just good in auto. Like they just chuck it in auto, add a film emulation that they like the look of, and just take photos. And one of the biggest kind of like exciting factors about most people is that they just shoot in JPEG and then they just get it off their camera onto their phone and then that's the photos.
Yeah.
They're not like bringing to Lightroom, which I feel like takes the fun away from it when I'm shooting photos. Is like I don't like editing the photos all the time. I just want them to be nice, which is why like I just use my phone most of the time because I'm like, it's there in my pocket and then the photos are there on my phone.
Yeah, and it sort of does a bit of editing for you. So
Yeah.
it saves it.
Yeah. And then on top of all of that, the camera itself is like, has real buttons and dials and
it's very
it's like
tactile.
machined aluminium and I don't know. I'm really excited about it. But I don't want to get caught up in the hype of just getting it because everyone keeps saying it's fantastic because it is a camera from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's not amazing specs, and you could get a better camera for the same price. Like you get a better camera for the same price, but is a better camera better just because it's better on paper, or is because it is actually better for what you want it for?
Yeah. I've definitely been sitting in the same boat. I have an old Sony A7R2, quite a few generations old now. Bought it soon after release, so it was pretty pricey then. It's definitely come down since, but the latest versions of the 7Rs are $4,000, $5,000, whatever it is.
Yeah, right.
It just sits at home. My camera, I don't get it out all the time. When we're doing photo shoots with my fiance and her business, I definitely get it out and I'm using that. And then that doesn't happen all the time. That's only when there's seasonal photo shoots and content shoots. But I just want to have a camera that I can quickly grab out and take a photo. Like you said, point shoot, take a photo. That's why I use my phone. Most of the stuff on Instagram, except with the exception of a couple, are all on my phone.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. Phone cameras are really good.
Yeah.
The best camera is the one they have with you.
But I do love the tactile feel of a camera, like a physical camera, not necessarily just hearing the shutter, but all the buttons that you can press and switch.
Yeah. And someone described it as a glorified point and shoot, basically, this X100V.
Especially on auto.
Yeah, because like you're not doing anyone could just pick it up and use it. Yeah. But I think that's what makes it exciting to think about using. It's because of its styling, it doesn't look intimidating for people. If you're taking photos at like a family barbecue or around the pool or whatever, or like hanging out with people, they're not like, why has this guy got his like $5,000 cinema camera out trying to take a photo of me? It's just like
200mm lens.
Oh, it's a film camera. Yeah. Like they wouldn't even know. You're like, oh, I can't show you. Sorry, I have to get the photos developed. Like, but yeah, I think it's like disarming, which is why I want to get one. But I know I really shouldn't spend that much money on a camera right now.
Before we wrap it up, do they have other options? Because yes, that Fujifilm is great, but there are so many other great models in their range. But do they have a cheaper option, even if it doesn't have all of those film simulations? For the most part, people use one anyway. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Fuji's base, color, base, like everything.
Yeah, all of their color science is really good. And I definitely looked at other options above that price, which is just my problem.
Did you go below that
but
price?
I didn't look anything below that price. And I probably should, because if what I'm after is something that's quick and easy to use, everything above that price is actually going back to like, you just have to buy lenses for it. You have to buy FX lenses, Fuji lenses for it. And then it's like, okay, well, you're in the same system. Part of the joy of the X100V, I think, for people that have talked about it, is that it's like, it's portable. Like it's small. You just grab it, chuck it in your bag, take a photo. You don't have to like worry about a lens. Oh, I want to change this lens. So I never look down. I should look down.
Definitely check it out, because something that I've recently done since watching the recent Batman, and even a little bit before. Yeah, there was a YouTuber that really got me into this, but I wanted to buy a lens, cheap lens, and just like have it be a throw around lens, not worry about it being $3,000 and not getting it, dropping it, not like. I like the raw and even the imperfections in it, especially in Batman. They specifically filmed on lenses that were damaged and broken lenses, so it had a certain look, it had a certain focus, it couldn't reach focus at times. All of these things, and it just gave it a bit of character. And I'm not saying that I want a blurry shot every time.
No,
but just a light, cheaper camera or lens. Just to throw around and, like you said, just take a photo. It's more for the art, less of the pristine quality.
Yeah, it's about the journey. And then the last thing I'll say is that I tried to do that with my Canon R, and I bought I think it was a Pentax, like an old Pentax, like a 35mm, with like none of it's auto. It's all manual iris, everything. And I have just recently put that on my camera, and I'm like, I'll just use this if I want to take a photo. I'm like, it's a fixed lens now. Like I'm not gonna let myself change lenses. The problem is I still get too clean an image out of the camera,
because it's too
which is never a problem I thought I would have. But it's like I need to like just peg the camera at a wall or something, or
Yeah.
not the camera, the lens.
Yeah.
You know, bash it up a bit so I get some character in there. But
That's it.
that's my small rant about wanting to buy a camera that I shouldn't.
We'll do our research.
I'll come back with some options.